I was wrong. This is it. This is what's going to bring him down. He has endorsed one of the presidential candidates. The support from Democrats for Tesla in general has plummeted. And as a matter of fact, I was going to put my money into to short Tesla stock. I lost. I admit it. Today, I am going to tell all of you that this is one of those very few rare occasions where I was wrong. And I was wrong drastically so. And let me back up a little bit and explain. In some ways, I'm happy to be wrong, but in others, I'm disappointed to be wrong. So let's talk about what if you've watched my live streams for the last several weeks, you probably know that one of the things that I have predicted and said that there's just no way that Tesla is going to have a day like they had today. And today they announced the third quarter delivery numbers. And I said, listen, this is not going to happen because it's going to be drastically too low, because we already seen that the numbers were low. As a matter of fact, Tesla was, I think besides Polestar, the only other car company that had their electric car sales, which is all of their car sales, go down year over year, where everybody else has been growing and growing and growing. So the interest in buying Tesla, for many different reasons, competitions and many other things, has already been going down. On top of that, Elon Musk has been increasingly political and unhinged. That started a while back, but he did something that I said, okay, this is it. This is what's going to bring him down. And he has endorsed one of the presidential candidates. He has created SPAC to essentially for people to contribute money to the campaign. And I said, listen, and I've seen a lot of data that there was surveys done, and just seeing the comments in my videos and other videos where people say, I'm a Democrat. I feel like if I'm going to be buying a Tesla, I'm going to be giving money through Elon Musk directly to Donald Trump, a presidential candidate that I don't like, I hate, despise, and so forth and so forth. And I said, listen, if you're going to alienate, such a big base of people who've essentially made Tesla what it is. Let's face it, the beginning years of Tesla, it was merely liberals who were buying Tesla, right? It was a very liberal idea to be green and all that stuff, and I guess still is. So I said, that's it. This is when this is going to happen. As a matter of fact, I was going to put my money into to short Tesla stock. Now, I don't actually even know if the stock has gone down, because they technically did not meet the Wall Street's expectations. So somebody tell me in the chat room, I'm sure you guys will, that it might still go down. So but I am shocked that they have delivered pretty much as many cars as it was expected. And I think Elon Musk at this point, I have to admit, and a lot of people have to admit, is unbreakable. Just like Elon Musk, right? Because if there's any other CEO who would have done all or said all of this crazy things on Twitter or anywhere, right? Just like if any politician ever would say things like that Donald Trump has said, right? They would just, their career would be over. Remember, there was a Democratic presidential candidate. He wasn't even candidate. He was a primary candidate. Dean, I think was his name. Remind me also, I'm forgetting. But I remember at one of his rallies, I think everybody was saying how he was a little bit too kind of like stiff. And I guess at one of the rallies, he wanted to show that he's actually a very excitable guy. And he did one of these, and that ended his career and campaign. Just being a little bit too crazy in the eyes for just 1 second, right? So Matthew says, I'm seconds from unsubscribing. Wow, that's tough. But I'm seconds from unsubscribing. I have to say, I am disappointed. And I'm not disappointed in really Donald Trump. I'm not disappointed in Elon Musk, because Elon Musk is Elon Musk, and I've been disappointed many times. I kind of made peace with it. I really thought that, people, I guess I'm disappointed maybe in people. people. I see these discussions, and obviously I don't live in America anymore, but I see these discussions, and people are fighting over who is a better candidates, and Democrats are saying Donald Trump, if he wins, he's just gonna, the world's gonna go down. But they would still give him money through Tesla. And like I said, there was a big survey that was done where the support from Democrats for Tesla in general has plummeted, and yet it hasn't. On top of that, there were other things that I kind of considered in sort of my claim. In Europe, BMW, out of all manufacturers, BMW started to outsell Tesla. I think they outsold them in August, and very unexpected. So the sales weren't as strong in Europe. Sales were already not as strong in America. On top of that, he's saying all this stuff, and he's consistently, right? He's consistently, crapping on Kamala Harris, consistently defending and promoting Donald Trump. Who are these people who are buying the cars? Now, I know there was, of course, a bit of an injection of Cybertruck. So I thought maybe, Cybertruck sales have really probably gonna, if anything, maybe like compensate for that. But come to think of it, it looks like they've sold less than 30,000 of Cybertrucks, Model X and Model S. So I'm assuming they sold less than 20,000 of Cybertrucks on their own in Q3. So I guess, listen, I don't consider Elon Musk a good person. I think at this point, I consider him quite a bad person, for the lack of, and he's allowed to be. Obviously, I'm not his dad. I'm not the, king of the world. But so I guess I'm just disappointed in people that I guess, there are no rules for yet another billionaire. He can say and do whatever he wants, and he will still sell cars to anybody. Now, the interesting thing, I had a conversation on Facebook. It was a relatively civil conversation, but I was talking to somebody who said, yes, I'm a shareholder. He's great. And I guess he is great, right? If he's making you money, absolutely. But at the same time, I said, well, but he's also conning you, right? Doesn't that bother you? And he's like, what do you mean he's conning me? And I'm like, yeah, this is, I guess, a sign of a great con man, when people who you're conning don't even know you're conning them and quite happy with what you're doing. And as I moved out of the United States, and for those of you guys who know why, essentially it comes down to the culture, right? The culture, and I have, and this is maybe, and this is maybe one of maybe other sort of stamps of approval of what I think of is happening in Western countries, and specifically in America. How is that someone like Elon Musk can say all these horrible things, go after all this, scam and con and lie to the very people who are paying him money, and those people go like, we love it, love the guy. So I guess, yeah. So I lost. I mean, I probably would have lost a lot of money. I did invest some money into, there's a ticker symbol TSLQ, I guess, like Tesla Q, but I invested very little because I've already kind of like, once I realized I cannot short stock as somebody who does not live in America, that's the closest thing that I found, and I already invested a lot of my money. So I invested a little bit. And like I said, you know what? It can still go up, because I guess the Tesla stock is going to go down from what I understand, because they did not meet the expectations. But I'm also thinking to the event, to the upcoming event, which is in a week. All the lies he's going to tell at the event, people are going to go like, after all the lies he's told, over the last few years about the self-driving, no one's going to care about the data that just came out, independent data that Tesla was hiding, right? Tesla has been hiding data from pretty much everybody of how often in test drives they have to interfere, and now we find out it's like something crazy, like 12 minutes, which is unacceptable with the independent study. And I saw some footage from that study. I mean, and this was done like within the last month. So, every time I say, hey, look, FSD is not working very well, and people go like, yeah, but the latest version is perfect. Yeah, you just haven't seen it. Well, this was the latest version, and I saw the car running a freaking red light. How is this after all these years? You'll have a self-driving feature that you sell to people, and it just runs a red light. I mean, yeah. So I lost. I admit it. I know maybe it's time to like wrap up this channel and say I don't know anything about anything anymore. I don't know what it will take to bring him down, but I don't think it's possible. Unfortunately, that is the leader of this movement. At some point, I thought maybe we'll have a change of guard. People will be like, okay, well, Elon is a little too crazy, but like Herbert Diess, for example, somebody who I really liked, who also just got kicked out of Volkswagen, and now we know it was a really bad idea. But I thought maybe someone like him, um, who would be able to actually lead the community, the electric car revolution. So yeah, yeah, yeah.